Throughout history, there's never been a shortage of powerful emperors. Genghis Khan, Augustus Caesar, and King Solomon, just to name a few. But none may have wielded greater power than the emperors of China. In this series, we'll explore how the emperors of China amassed the ultimate power play. The ancient Chinese believed that to be an effective ruler, you needed the support of the heavens. This idea was called the mandate of heaven, and it gave the emperor the authority to rule over not just the people, but the entire cosmos. It was the foundation of imperial authority in China from the Qin dynasty until the end of the Qing dynasty. But having the mandate didn't mean you were some benevolent space god. It meant you were a Confucian emperor, which required you to act in accordance to the teachings of Confucius. Now, this included being virtuous, having good morals, and knowing when to kick your subjects while they were down. This last one was important because the Confucian concept of the dynastic cycle held that every ruler had to maintain order through a process known as the mandate of heaven. So if a dynasty was corrupt or incompetent or being threatened from within or outside the empire, then the emperor was expected to put things in order. If he couldn't, then according to the dynastic cycle, he would lose the mandate of heaven and someone else would take his place. So not only did the emperors of China rule over hundreds of millions of people, they also controlled everything from the stars above to the ground below. With such a massive amount of power, the emperors of China built some of the most impressive structures in human history. They constructed the Great Wall of China to keep the barbarians out. They built the Terracotta Army to protect their tomb, and they created the Forbidden City to remind everyone who was in charge. These buildings weren't just ways to flex the emperor's wealth. They were also symbols of his power. Over time, these structures became more than just bricks and mortar. They took on a life of their own. The Great Wall became a metaphor for China itself, a barrier against the chaos of the outside world. The Terracotta Army became a symbol of the emperor's eternal power, and the Forbidden City became a microcosm of the Chinese Empire. With its intricate courtyards and palaces representing the different parts of the empire, as we continue our journey through the Forbidden City, we must remember that for every grand palace, there was a darker story lurking in the shadows. Behind the ornate gates and courtyards of the Forbidden City, there was a complex web of relationships that could make the modern workplace seem like a walk in the park. The emperors of China had a lot of people vying for their attention, from eunuchs and concubines to advisors and ministers. Each of them had their own agendas and were willing to do whatever it took to get ahead, even if it meant getting rid of the person who had the emperor's ear. There were power plays, assassinations, and even rebellions happening within the walls of the Forbidden City. It was a battle of wits and wills, and only the most cunning and ruthless could survive. It wasn't just about keeping your head. It was also about getting the emperor to listen to your ideas. After all, he was the one who had the mandate of heaven and the power to shape the empire's future. So the real power lay in convincing him to see things your way. In the next episode of China's Emperor, we'll meet some of the most iconic emperors in Chinese history, like Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of a unified China, and Kublai Khan, the founder of the Yuan dynasty. We'll see how they played the game of power, made massive changes to the empire, and left behind a legacy that would shape China for centuries to come. Join us and get ready to step into the fascinating world of China's emperors. While the emperors of China wielded immense power and built incredible structures, they also faced challenges and setbacks. Despite their best efforts to maintain order and prosperity, empires inevitably declined due to various factors such as corruption, economic instability, and external threats. The emperors of China were not immune to these challenges, and their downfall often led to chaos and upheaval when an emperor lost the mandate of heaven. It was not uncommon for rival warlords to rise up and challenge the authority of the ruling dynasty. This resulted in civil wars and the rise of new powers, which eventually led to the collapse of the empire. The decline of an empire could also lead to the emergence of foreign invaders, who exploited the weakness of the crumbling regime. These external threats posed significant challenges to the emperors of China and their ability to maintain control over their vast empire. As we continue to explore the Forbidden City, let us remember that for every grand achievement of the emperors, there was also hardship and struggle. Their relentless pursuit of power and glory often came at a great cost to their subjects and the stability of their empire. The emperors of China may have had the mandate of heaven on their side, but that didn't mean they had it easy. In fact, their path to power was fraught with challenges, and their reign was constantly threatened by rivals, rebels, and outsiders. Despite the odds stacked against them, these emperors built some of the most impressive structures in history and left behind a legacy that continues to fascinate us today. Now watch as we unravel the mysteries of the Forbidden City and explore the fascinating lives of the emperors of China. Don't miss out on this epic journey through one of the most powerful empires in history. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more updates.